What is going on, Nitrocytes? It is your boy, the Nitro General here, and welcome back to another video. Now, this is a video. I am recording this a little bit earlier than I usually do, just because I wanted to be able to get another video out for you guys today. There may be another one up later. Don't count on it, just because I'm not sure if I'll have time, but I kind of wanted to make two videos for you today to make up for the fact that there has been a little bit of a lack of them in the week. So, yeah, like I've been saying at the beginning of every one of the videos, if you enjoy my content, if you like these type of videos, if you actually like it, then actually slap a like on it, because with bigger channels it doesn't matter quite as much if you do leave a like or not as much. I mean, because obviously you should still leave a like if you like it, but with smaller channels like me, a like goes a long way. You know, one like can be the differential between if I make another one or if I don't. So if you do like the video, leave a like down below and subscribe, because I am trying to get this channel partnered. Because if we can get this channel partnered, then I can make videos for you guys like this full time, and that would just be my dream. And yeah, I am just super excited for that. So subscribe and hit that bell and all of that good stuff. I'm wearing my assistant to the regional manager shirt right now. So yes. And in today's video, I did do a little bit of a different kind of animation style for the video. So rather than just me talking, you will be able to see the Pokemon as well. So if you guys do like this, then let me know down below if you like this type of video rather than just seeing my face. It does take a little bit longer, so there may be less of these type of videos just because it takes me, I mean, this took me like a half hour to put together. And it'll usually only take me like 10-15 minutes to make the video in general. So if you like this way, I might just continue to do the videos like this. But yes, let's get right into it. In this video, as you can tell by the title of the video and those words right there, that I am going to be talking about 5 things that every region has. Now, the last one on this list is the stretching it a little bit because it's a little bit harder, but I couldn't find 5 things. So, yeah, basically, this is just going to be with Pokemon wise, because I could be like, oh yeah, an evil team, a champion, an Elite Four, even though not everyone has an Elite Four, but you know what I mean. Like, I could have done all that stuff, but everybody knows, like, if you were going to be like, oh yeah, everyone has a champion, everyone has a team, evil team, but some people, it may not have quite registered to them that every region has something like this. So we're going to be going over the 5 groups of Pokemon that every region has, and yeah, I enjoyed making this video. I enjoyed thinking it up, so if you guys are excited for it, then leave a like down below. But let's get into the first category. So the first one, coming in at the number 5 spot, the first thing that every region has is a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Now, basically, if you guys don't know what a pseudo-legendary is, basically, it's just a Pokemon that has stats of a legendary Pokemon. So, I think it's base 600, I think they all have, which is the highest non-legendary stat total that a Pokemon can have. And any Pokemon with this base stat total of 600, it's either 6 or 8, but I think it's 6. Any Pokemon with this base stat total is considered a pseudo-legendary. And every region, except for Generation 3, has 1. Generation 3 actually has 2, which would be Salamence and Metagross. And when I was making this video, I actually didn't know that they were both pseudo-legendaries. I actually thought Metagross was a pseudo-legendary and Salamence wasn't, just as the fact of, you know, when I'm playing through Pokemon Black and White, I always thought Haxorus was a legendary, but it's not. It was it's Hydreigon. Actually, I know it's Hydreigon, but for the longest time I did think Haxorus was, but I actually didn't know that it had 2 pseudo legendaries. So the only region that has 2 pseudo legendaries is Generation 3, which is Salamence and Metagross. Generation 1 obviously is Dragonite. Generation 2 is Tyranitar. Generation 4 is Garchomp. Gen 5 is Goodra. Gen 6 is Kommo-o. Gen 5 is Hydreigon. Gen 6 is Goodra. Gen 7 is Kommo-o, and Gen 8 is obviously Dragapult. So yeah, so these are basically Pokemon that you usually can't get till late game, and they have the stats of a legendary Pokemon, which are they're just really really good Pokemon. And these are the 9 that are pseudo legendaries, the only 9 Pokemon as of right now, as of today, as of Pokemon Sword and Shield, that are pseudo legendary Pokemon. So um, obviously obviously they're just all really good Pokemon, but my favorite would probably I don't know. It's really, really hard. I really do like Garchomp, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Metagross just because it's on my team that I have. The only time that I know of that you legitimately, without like transferring Pokemon over, could get or trading with somebody, you legitimately could get a pseudo legendary at the beginning of a game is in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you got the game early, you got a shiny Beldum from a gift trade, like not a wonder trade. What do they call them? Like an event. So that was the only time, like without trading with somebody or transferring over, that you could get a pseudo legendary this early in the game. But yeah, these are the 9 pseudo legendaries that every region has. So moving on to the next one, coming in up at the number 4 spot is a regional bird. Now, every generation has a certain bird Pokemon that you can get on the first route or within the first couple routes that you can get. And normally, any playthrough of the game, when you play through it the first time, you use the regional bird. And that was no exception to my playthroughs, except for Gen 2 and Gen 6. When I played through no, I did use it in Gen 6. Gen 2 was the only one that I didn't use. And that's because when you play through the game, the only time when you can get Hoothoot is at night, or Hoothoot is at night. So if I wasn't playing it at night, then I just didn't get it. And most of the time when I started them, I was playing it during the day. So I never actually used a Hoothoot in a like an original playthrough of the game. Anytime I used Noctowl was when I transferred over a Pokemon or played through it again or whatever. But yeah, so Generation 1 is obviously Pidgeot. Generation 2 is Noctowl. Gen 3 is Swellow. Gen 4 is Staraptor. Gen 5 is Unfezant. Gen 6 is Talonflame. Gen 7 is Toucannon. And Gen 8 is Corviknight. Now, my favorite out of these ones is between Staraptor and Talonflame, but I think I'm going to have to go with Talonflame. You guys know I love Eagles. Eagles are one of my favorite Pokemon, but Staraptor is not really based off an Eagle as much as like Bravari is. So I'm just going to have to go with Talonflame. I just love Talonflame, and it is the only one, or one of the only one of these Pokemon. Yeah, there's only 2 Pokemon in this list that are not just pure normal and flying type, and that is Talonflame and Corviknight. Corviknight obviously being steel flying, and Talonflame being fire flying. All the rest of these are normal flying Pokemon, which is kind of cool. But yeah, and I did forget to mention that with the pseudo legendaries, there's only one pseudo legendary that's not a dragon type, with that being Metagross. So it is kind of cool that every pseudo legendary is a dragon type, but every region has at least one, or has their pseudo legendary is a dragon type, except for Generation 3 that has 2 of them. But yeah, so the only regional bird that's not normal flying is Talonflame and Corviknight, which meant they are like way better for a playthrough team. Like I picked Froakie my first playthrough of X and Y, because it was the only one that I hadn't seen the evolutions of yet, and I am way glad that I picked it. But I picked up a Talonflame, or I picked up a oh my god, why am I drawing a blank here on the Fletchling? Yeah, I picked up a Fletchling early game, and then when it evolves into a Fletchinder, it does get Ember, and then obviously it doesn't really get any other fire type moves until it gets Flare Blitz, unless you teach it like Flamethrower or something. But yeah, so it makes him really, really good for a playthrough anyways. But most of the time when you're playing through a game for the first time, you're going to be picking up the regional bird. Flying is a really good typing anyways, being able to take on fighting types, which are very popular in Pokemon games, along as grass and bug types too, which are both not quite as prevalent, but they definitely can be prevalent. And Talonflame being, actually I think, yeah, Talonflame and Corviknight are both 4 times resistant to both grass and bug, so they're both just really, really nice to have on a playthrough team. But that's why coming at the number 4 spot is the regional bird. Now, coming in at the next spot is a Pikachu clone. Now, if you guys didn't know, every single game has a Pokemon that's based off of Pikachu. Now, Pikachu is the mascot of Pokemon. Like, if you ask somebody that's never played a Pokemon game what one Pokemon is, they'd be like, oh, Pikachu, because it is the number one Pokemon that everybody knows. So, but every game has emulated a mouse sort of Pokemon that's supposed to emulate Pikachu in a sense. And they are all electric types except for Generation 2, which I find is very weird, but which is Marill, which I thought I knew that was the Pikachu clone, but when I was doing the research for this video, I was like, I guess it could be other Pokemon. Like, maybe maybe I can't include this one because Generation 2 doesn't have it. But anything I looked at was like, no, Marill's a Pikachu clone. And it does make sense because it's a mouse, but it is a water type. And really, up until Generation 4, Marill was the only Pikachu clone or Generation 5, the only Pikachu clone that wasn't pure electric type. Now, the only ones that are not electric type are Marill and, not Morpeko. I don't know why I am, Mimikyu. I am blanking I blank on Pokemon names only when I make videos. So obviously Generation 1 is Pikachu, Generation 2 is Marill, Generation 3 is Plusle and Minun, Generation 4 is Pachirisu, which is my favorite, Generation 5 is Emolga, Generation 6 is Dedenne, Generation 7 is Mimikyu, and Generation 8 is Morpeko. But yeah, up until Generation 5, they were all just pure electric types. And then in Generation 5, when Emolga was introduced, it got the flying type, which is actually really, really nice because it gives the immunity to ground types, making it have... The only weakness it has is rock. It does not have any other weaknesses, which is really, really good, even though it's not the greatest stat-wise. The Dedenne obviously got the fairy type because that was the generation where fairy type was introduced. Mimikyu got the ghost typing, and Morpeko got the dark typing. My least favorite one out of these is definitely Morpeko. I don't know why, but I don't really care for it that much. I'm actually doing a playthrough of Pokemon Sword and Shield where I'm using it right now. But, yeah, the Pikachu clones are always just little cute little mice. Except for, Mimikyu, I don't know if you could say it's a mouse, but, you don't know what's under there. But, yeah, I would have loved for Mimikyu to get a Mega Evolution where you see what's underneath the rags. But, yeah, so that's Pikachu clone. And that's why coming at the number 3 spot, it's Pikachu clone. Coming in at the number 4 spot, and the second to last one, is an early root on normal type Pokemon. Now, as you guys might say, there are a lot of regions that have early type, more than one early type, normal type Pokemon. But what limits this is that every single region, has one normal type Pokemon that has a 2-stage evolution. There are other regions, like Generation 5 with Lillipup, but Lillipup has 3 evolutions, not 2. So it wouldn't really count as the early root normal type Pokemon. And it does stand to say that they are never great. They're always, not great. And again, up until Generation... the only one that's not pure normal type is Daresby, which is normal ground. So up until Generation 6, they were all just pure normal type. And they are all still pure normal type, except for Diggersby. I actually thought Double was Steel for the longest time, but it's not. Yeah, so obviously you have Raticate for Generation 1, Ferret for 2, Linoone for 3, even though Linoone did get an evolution in Generation 8, Bibarel in Generation 4, Watchog in 5, Diggersby in 6, Gumshoos in 7, and Double in 8. These are all Pokemon that you can get early in the game and play through, but most of the time people don't end up keeping the normal type Pokemon through the playthrough of a game because obviously normal type is, normal type is alright to use in a playthrough, but in competitive or anything it's terrible, so you usually don't use them. But the only one I ever used all the way through was, I think... I don't even think I never did. I've used all of these at some point, except for Double, because I haven't used Double yet. But I've used them all in some point or another in a playthrough. So, but yeah, obviously, I think my favorite's probably Furret, and my least favorite being Watchog. But in that animation of Watchog, I don't know. I could not find any other ones to put in this. So yeah, that's just the early root normal type Pokemon, ones that people don't really think about too much, but they're always there at the beginning of a game, and a lot of times when you're playing through, you'll pick them up because they're cute little normal type Pokemon, and then you switch them out for something eventually anyways, except for I think probably Wooloo, because everybody loves Wooloo, so I see a lot more of usage with Double because they kept it, but yeah. And then coming at the number 5 spot and rounding out the 5 on this list is the one that I said was stretching a little bit. But every route has a fish Pokemon. They introduce a Pokemon that's based off a fish. Now there has always been, in every game there has been new water types introduced. But in every region there's also one that is solely based on an aquatic creature. Obviously there are more in some regions. I am excluding Pokemon like Slowpoke and stuff that are actually based off aquatic Pokemon, but you can still find. But these ones are the ones that you find the most. So, like in Generation, I'm gonna get this wrong. Generation 2, Remoraid. I think it was Generation 2. That's why I said I'm gonna get it wrong. Remoraid was introduced, and obviously Octillery is based on a octopus, but Chinchou is found much more commonly throughout the region as that. And I mean, I could have said Goldeen for Generation 1, but obviously Magikarp is found way more than Goldeen, and that is why you have Gyarados, the first one. You have Lantern in Generation 2, which is based off an anglerfish. Generation 3 is Sharpedo, based off a shark, obviously. Generation 4 is Lumineon, which is, I guess, just based off bioluminescent fish. Generation 5 is Basculin, which I'm guessing is based off of Piranha. Generation 6 is Clausitzer, which is based off of shrimp. Generation 6 is Wishiwashi, which I don't know what that's really based off of, like a minnow or something. And Generation 7, which is Barraskewda, which I have no idea what it's based off of. But, yeah, they're all fish-type Pokemon that appear throughout the region quite a bit. I mean, the last 2 generations, they were some of the only new water-type fishing Pokemon that you can get. But all of these, at some point, you can catch in their respective regions with a fishing rod at one point or another. I think Lumineon you can. I'm not too sure, but all the rest of them you can. But yeah, so my favorite is Lumineon out of them. I love Lumineon. I wish it was better, but it's not. My least favorite, probably Wishiwashi, but I don't know, I really do like Basculin, and I tried using it in a playthrough once, and it was the only Pokemon ever that I bailed on using because it was so bad. But yeah. So that is it for today's video, guys. I really, really hope you enjoyed. If you like this type of video where you see the face cam here, but you see all the Pokemon over here and stuff, then let me know down below, because it's a little bit more fun to make, but also a little more time, so I would just have to dedicate a little bit more time to making it. But I really, really hope you guys enjoyed, like I said at the beginning of the video, and trying to get the channel partnered. So leave a like down below, subscribe, hit that bell, all of that good stuff. But yeah, like I say at the end of every video, guys, my name is the Nitro General. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next video. This is your General out. Peace.